황태자와 시골 처녀와의 결혼은 관습을 이겨낸 사랑의 승리였다. 그러나 사랑은 변하는 것이라고 했던가. 완벽할 것 같던 그들의 사랑도 영원하지 못했다. 세기의 결혼으로 추앙받던 그들의 사랑은 결국 비극으로 끝났다. 오늘도 수많은 커플들이 사랑을 약속하며 결혼을 하고 동시에 수많은 커플들은 그들의 사랑에 종지부를 찍는다. 과연 세상에 영원한 사랑이란 없는 것인가? 결혼 11년째를 맡고 있는 변호사 티모시 릭베. 그는 지금 결혼 생활에 가장 큰 위기를 맞고 있다. 이혼 결정까지 간 상태에서 그는 마지막 희망을 걸어보기로 했다.
We need to get going, babe. How much time do you need?
티모시 릭베의 아내는 공인 회계사. 부부는 오늘을 위해 휴가까지 낸 상태다.
Okay, ready? Yep. All right.
집을 나선 부부가 찾아간 곳은 한 호텔. 부부는 이제 이곳에서 자신들의 이혼 여부를 판가름짓는 마지막 실험에 들어갈 것이다.
We're in the South Beach.
그것은 바로 부부관계 개선 프로그램이었다. 나빠진 부부관계를 개선시켜준다는 것인데 참가자들은 프로그램에 참가하기 위해 100만 원에 가까운 참가비까지 낸 상태다.
We actually have been exploring a lot of different ways to strengthen our relationship since we were dating. And after we got married, we discovered that we didn't know everything that we were comfortable with, everything that we needed to know in order to be a successful couple. So we were going to some counseling, and our counselor went ahead and suggested we take a look at the Imago theory. So Abby went ahead and did some research further on it and came up with the workshop.
It seems a little strange to not know whether or not you really want to get married to someone. It seems as if it's something you're supposed to just know. And I think both of us are experienced enough to really wonder if it's not only if we want to, but if it's a good thing to do. And so we've come to take a closer look at each other and also to see if we can't speak more clearly with each other.
One of the things that we both of us read, significant marriages in past. I was married 51 years. As my wife, she had several, and we just would be sure that this was the thing to do. And also, I think we're getting ideas of how we could enhance that marriage. So we're looking forward to that.
프로그램은 독특한 명상 기법으로 시작됐다. 강사는 계속 참가자들에게 자신의 상처를 떠올리도록 유도하고 있었다. 잠시 후 여기저기에서 훌쩍이는 소리가 들리기 시작했다. 물론 참가자들은 부부관계에 뭔가 문제가 있기 때문에 이곳을 찾은 경우들이다. 그 절박함 때문이었을까? 참가자들은 믿어지지 않을 정도로 프로그램에 몰입하고 있었다. 더 의외인 것은 이들이 돈을 내면서까지 스스로 이혼을 막아보려 애를 쓰고 있다는 점이다. 현재 미국에서 이런 부부관계 개선 프로그램은 매우 일반화된 현상이다.
Sure. We actually separated right after, about a year and a half after we got married. We separated for a short amount of time, about 8 months.
And just to take some long term, is this something I'm committed to long term? And really wasn't a legal separation or anything. We just lived apart and tried to decide, is this the person I want to live with long term? And that was about 8 years ago. And you see that we're still struggling with a lot of the issues.
To come here, I think it was mutual. I think it was. We both just said, hey, this is gonna be unsuccessful if we don't get some help.
이혼 문제는 현재 미국에서 가장 뜨거운 논쟁거리다.
The Americans say marriages and families in the United States are weak, and more needs to be done to strengthen them.
Live from Bay TV,
미국의 이혼율은 세계 1위.
What role will marriage and family play in the November presidential election?
정치인이 어떤 가족 정책을 내느냐는 선거 전의 주요 변수다.
Hope both candidates can agree on.
Making marriages and families a political priority.
어떻게 하면 이혼율을 낮출 것인가?
A recent survey says our political leaders should rank marriage and families as top.
그런 가운데 최근 흥미로운 여론조사 결과가 발표됐다. 이혼이 더욱 어려워져야 한다고 응답한 미국인이 49%. 이혼법을 지금보다 더 어렵게 만들라는 요구다. 그렇다면 미국의 이혼법은 어떻게 돼 있는가? 이혼법을 더 어렵게 해야 한다는 요구가 나오고 있지만 사실 이들의 이혼법은 한국과는 비교도 할 수 없을 만큼 까다롭다. 부부가 합의만 하면 그 자리에서 이혼이 되는 한국의 협의 이혼 제도 같은 건 아예 없다. 모든 이혼은 재판을 거쳐야 되고 미국의 모든 주가 한국에는 없는 이혼 숙려 기간을 채택하고 있다. 이혼 숙려 기간은 곧 별거 기간과도 같은데 주가 요구하는 별거 기간을 입증해야만 이혼을 할 수 있다. 그런 가운데 드러난 한국과 미국의 이혼율 변화는 상당히 대조적이다. 미국은 해마다 조금씩 낮아지고 있는 반면 한국은 해마다 늘고 있다. 치고 올라가는 한국의 이혼율 수치가 급격한 상승 곡선을 그리고 있는 형편이다. 한국의 급격한 이혼율 상승은 국가별 이혼율 수치에도 큰 변화를 가져왔다. 1위는 여전히 미국이지만 한국이 그 뒤를 바짝 뒤쫓고 있다. 한국은 이제 덴마크나 일본보다도 높은 이혼율을 보이고 있다. 그렇다면 이혼법의 차이는 이혼율의 변화에 어떤 영향을 미칠까? 미국에서 가장 긴 숙려 기간을 요구하고 있는 메릴랜드주. 이곳에 사는 사람이 이혼을 하려면 2년에서 최고 3년까지를 기다려야만 한다.
And where the wife woke up one morning and decided that she wished to have her freedom for the remaining years of her marriage, and she did not have to because they lived in Maryland. If she had lived in California, she could have been divorced immediately just by saying, "I don't want to be married." In Maryland, she had to show that she was ready to get divorced by being separated for at least a year by agreement or 2 years without an agreement with her husband. We shouldn't do it, and we tell them that they should reconsider whether they should be doing it in light of how difficult it's going to be. Regardless of the fact that the law allows them to get divorced, the process can in some cases have hurdles and stones on the road and spikes and broken glass and many other obstacles.
이혼에 이르는 절차가 복잡하면 복잡할수록 이혼을 다시 고려하게 만들고 그것이 전체 이혼율을 낮춘다는 것이다. 정말 그럴까? 통계는 신기할 정도로 일치하고 있다. 가장 짧은 3개월의 숙려 기간을 요구하는 네바다가 가장 높은 이혼율을 보이고 있으며 6개월의 버지니아가 그 다음, 그리고 1년 이상의 메릴랜드가 가장 낮다. 이혼 절차가 가장 복잡한 곳에서 가장 낮은 이혼율이 나왔다는 것은 무엇을 의미하는가? 메릴랜드의 가정법원장은 그 이유를 자신들의 이혼법에서 찾는다.
I suppose in a way it can affect the things that I've talked about. If you give people enough time that they have to stay apart, and they have, but you're bringing them together to discuss important things like their children and their property and their money. It's also expensive to get a divorce. Because it's expensive to hire an attorney. If you have children and you have property, it's really difficult to do a divorce pro se. People try it, But there are a lot of things that you lose, and along the way you may start to think about some of them. You're giving them an opportunity to cool off, to be apart, but also to start working through and talking about what made them want to separate in the first place. So that may be how some people get back together again.
이혼법이 어렵다고 해서 이혼하려는 사람이 이혼을 포기하게 될까? 그러나 별거 기간이 길다 보면 그 기간 동안 다른 변수가 일어날 수도 있다. 즉 이혼이 재고될 여지가 있다는 얘기다.
I don't think it's fair to say that divorce is entirely a negative. I think that in many cases, for example, where there is persistent abuse, where there is a complete incompatibility, divorce is a savior of people's lives. They should not have to live together. So where people are quick to jump into a divorce, they take the easiest route.
메릴랜드와 가까운 버지니아주. 메릴랜드 사람 중에는 별거 기간이 짧은 이곳으로 이혼 여행을 떠나오는 경우도 있다.
이혼을 빨리 하기 위해서 메릴랜드주에서 버지니아주로 와서 여기서 케이스를 시작하는 분들도 있죠. 그 별거 기간이 우선 6개월이고 메릴랜드는 voluntary면은 1년, non-voluntary면은 2년. 그렇기 때문에 어떤 경우는 2년 이상을 기다려야 되는 경우도 있다고요. 한쪽에서 어그리를 안 해주면은. 그러면 2년 이상 기다리기 싫으면은 그러면 버지니아에서 하면은 1년이니까 동의를 안 하더라도 그 스파우스가 동의를 안 하더라도 1년이니까 그 1년이 단축되니까 그렇게 하는 분들도 있죠.
이혼을 하려고 메릴랜드에서 버지니아로 케이스가 있었나요?
그런 케이스들이 있었죠.
그렇다고 해서 버지니아에서의 이혼이 쉬운 것만은 아니다. 한국의 경우에 비교해 보면 버지니아의 이혼법 역시 상당히 복잡하다. 일단 버지니아에서 6개월 이상을 살았다는 증거를 제시해야만 한다.
네, 조선 왕조사에. 네. 그래도 2년 기다리는 것보다는 낫죠.
미 연방 결혼협회. 미국의 가족 문제를 총괄적으로 점검하고 연구하는 단체다. 최근 이곳에서 가장 중점적으로 다뤄지고 있는 건 이혼법 개정 운동. 이혼법을 지금보다 더 어렵게 하려는 것이 그 핵심이다.
There are a lot of reforms that one can pursue to try to deal with divorce. Our specialty is public policy, legal reform. Some of the reforms that we support are waiting periods before people get a divorce if there are children involved, requiring counseling for people to try to prevent divorce before granting a divorce, encouraging people to try to plan for the sort of situation they're going to experience after a divorce. And studies show that about 30% of divorces can be prevented by something as simple as pre-divorce counseling. So we think that the state should require that before granting a divorce decree when kids are involved.
매튜 다니엘즈의 이혼법 개정 운동은 상당한 호응을 얻고 있다.
Which shows that if these trends, if not reversed, represent an expanding disaster for children and for this society. 9%.
그가 추진하는 개정안은 미국의 모든 주가 메릴랜드와 같이 2-3년간의 별거 기간을 의무화하는 것이다.
Where the white community is headed, one of our points is that right now in the United States, in most states, it's easier to leave a marriage than it is to leave a business partnership, and that's wrong. A number of states that are beginning to require waiting periods or mandatory counseling before granting a divorce because of the social damage. We have some states like Louisiana that have covenant marriage laws, which in a sense make it much harder to get a divorce.
마침내 등장한 언약 결혼이라는 것. 루이지애나의 수잔 부부가 바로 그 당사자들이다. 수잔 부부는 지난 97년 미국에서 최초로 언약 결혼을 선택한 부부다. 언약 결혼은 일반 결혼과는 달리 결혼과 동시에 부부가 지켜야 할 법적인 의무사항이 매우 많이 따라붙는 독특한 결혼법이다. 그럼에도 불구하고 두 사람은 자신들의 선택에 매우 만족하고 있다. 두 사람 다 한 번씩 이혼을 경험하고 치른 재혼이었기에 결정은 더 신중할 수밖에 없었다고 한다.
ready.
Okay, cool.
Suzanne proposed to get married with the covenant marriage. I didn't know a whole lot about it at the time, and she got me the literature, and I read up on it, and I agreed with her that it was a wonderful thing to do. And did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, I found out about the that was an option for the covenant marriage law through Darrell White and the Family Forum. And as I read the information, Guy and I had been divorced before, and we were remarrying, and we wanted to make it special and a very close, tight bond and covenant that we wanted to make together. And it seemed like the perfect choice for us to just make our marriage complete as a couple. You know, we'd both been through divorces and had children from previous marriages, and this time we wanted to make this marriage have every chance and opportunity to save it as possible, so we chose that avenue.
도대체 이 서류 한 장에 무엇이 그토록 깊은 만족감을 안겨준 것일까?
Especially because, you know, we both were divorced, and then we remarried. And one of the questions that they asked us was, if we'd had the covenant marriage law in our first marriages, did we think it would work? My answer was that I had gone to counseling in my first marriage, and it was a long ordeal before divorce decided, you know, that was the option that we ended up doing. But when Guy and I decided to marry, we both understood that counseling could never hurt a marriage, and that a lot of times a professional could help put things in perspective, you know, because when you're upset, things are much higher or bigger or worse, and when you're calmed down and you can actually see things on a normal level.
상담. 이들이 언약 결혼을 통해 받은 가장 큰 선물은 바로 그것이었다. 부부는 언약 결혼을 선택하는 순간부터 의무적으로 결혼 전 상담을 받아야 했다. 상담을 통해 그들은 자신이 생각하는 배우자 상과 자녀관 등에 대해 세밀하게 토론하는 과정을 거쳤다. 그러나 언약 결혼의 의무 사항이 그렇게 간단한 것만 있는 것은 아니다. 부부는 그 의무들이 자신들의 결혼 생활을 지켜주고 있다고 믿고 있다. 언약 결혼 형식을 최초로 창안한 사람은 법학자 캐서린 스팟이었다. 그는 언약 결혼이 미국의 이혼율을 낮춰줄 수 있는 가장 현실적인 대안이라고 생각하고 있다.
These are the documents that one receives at the Clerk of Court's office. The first is the Declaration of Intent on a covenant marriage, and it's a special contract that the couple agree to. And there are certain things in the Declaration of Intent that distinguish a covenant marriage.
언약 결혼은 혼전 교육은 물론 결혼 후에도 문제가 생길 때마다 전문가와 상담을 하겠다는 의무사항에 동의를 해야만 한다. 상담 자체를 일상화하도록 법제화시켜 놓은 것이다. 그러나 그 모든 것 중 가장 강력한 의무사항은 바로 별거 기간이다. 언약 결혼을 선택할 경우 주의 별거 기간과 상관없이 2년의 별거 기간을 채워야만 이혼이 성립되도록 해놓은 것이다. 이 모든 것은 공증을 통해 법적인 효력을 갖는다.
Compared to a standard marriage, in a standard marriage, the spouses live separate and apart for only 180 days. So here is where there is a significant and important difference. The covenant couple has to live separate and apart for 2 years, and a standard married couple for only 180 days. That 2-year period, it is hoped, will slow down the process and let each spouse consider what effect this divorce will have on children, if there are any children of the marriage. And of course, that was the intention of the people behind covenant marriage legislation.
결국 언약 결혼의 핵심도 별거 기간을 늘려 이혼을 어렵게 하려는 데에 있다. 물론 언약 결혼은 의무가 아닌 선택이다. 젊은이들은 처음에는 거부 반응을 보이기도 한다. 그러나 언약 결혼을 선택하는 커플들은 점점 많아지고 있다. 그것은 미국의 예비 부부들이 더 어렵고 까다로운 이혼법을 원한다는 뜻이다.
Since the inception of the law in 1997, we have averaged about 100 a year. Looking at the figures, I think for the second half of 97, we had about 26, and then it jumped to 96 for 1998, and has run anywhere from about 96 to about 120 over the years to date. And I'm sure we'll reach about that number this year, if not more.
그렇다면 언약 결혼은 이혼율 변화에 어떤 영향을 끼칠까? 버지니아 대학의 노크 교수는 최근 언약 결혼에 대한 새로운 연구 결과를 발표했다.
So, this is my most recent article on covenant marriage. This was published in the Michigan Journal of Gender and Law, which is a legal journal published at the University of Michigan. This article attempts to explain the history of covenant marriage as well as who decides which form of covenant, which type of marriage to have. And of course, this shows that most people, this bar shows how happy people are with their covenant marriages. They're very happy that they chose covenant marriage compared to other forms of.
일반 결혼을 선택한 커플과 언약 결혼을 선택한 커플 각각 300쌍을 대상으로 결혼 생활의 만족도를 조사한 결과 언약 결혼의 경우가 훨씬 높게 나타났다. 더 흥미로운 건 이혼율 비교다. 언약 결혼을 한 커플의 이혼율은 일반 결혼을 한 커플의 절반 수준. 결혼법이 이혼율 변화에 이처럼 큰 변화를 가져온 예는 없었다.
I believe that if many people entered into covenant marriages, it would reduce the divorce rate. Now, this was a primary purpose of our study, was to determine whether the state, the government, could predictably lower the divorce rate by its laws. We have found that couples do benefit from the covenant marriage, and they benefit in ways that will reduce divorce. So overall, covenant marriage would reduce divorce rates, probably. Not dramatically, but it would have a measurable effect.
그 효과가 가시적으로 드러나면서 언약 결혼은 미국의 각 주정부들 사이에서 초미의 관심사로 떠올랐다. 루이지애나 주는 미국에서 최초로 언약 결혼을 결혼법의 하나로 채택한 주다. 하원 의원 세론 블럼은 그 최초의 법 제정에 가장 앞장섰던 인물이다. 루이지애나가 언약 결혼을 법으로 채택하자 미국의 다른 2개 주, 아리조나와 알칸소주도 그 뒤를 따랐다. 뿐만 아니라 17개 주에서도 현재 그 법안 채택이 발의된 상태다. 언약 결혼 자체가 하나의 붐으로 인식되면서 세론 블럼의 활동도 미 전역으로 확대되고 있다.
In the long run, helps strengthen marriages and helps marriages stay together. Because you're going to always have differences, you're going to always have challenges. But when you know that you're in a covenant relationship, a relationship that bond that should not be broken, then that makes a big difference in your approach to the challenges that you have in marriage.
How you doing? Good. Oh, it's good to see you. I was just in the neighborhood. I just left
세론 블럼의 남편이다. 부부는 실제로 언약 결혼을 한 당사자들이기도 하다. 법이 제정될 당시 이미 결혼을 했던 이들은 언약 결혼의 공증서를 얻기 위해 또 한 번 결혼을 했다. 정치적인 제스처로 보일 수도 있다며 만류하는 사람도 있었지만 부부는 끝내 재혼의 형식까지 빌려가며 언약 결혼식을 올렸다.
I proposed covenant marriage to my wife because I thought it was another layer of security that we would have in our marriage, in our relationship. I firmly believe that once an individual, once a couple decides that they want to get married and they what shall I say? They make a promise publicly and privately before God and before the public that they're going to stay together as a married couple, then that's one layer of security. But having that covenant law in place there is another layer of security to ensure that the marriage is not dissolved hastily. So that's why I decided to ask that we have a covenant marriage.
그렇다면 그런 법적인 제재가 이혼에 대한 개인의 선택권을 침해할 소지가 있다는 점은 어떻게 해석해야만 하는가?
In class, I had a couple questions.
Of course.
You mentioned covenant marriage, I think is one of the different forms. Could you describe that a little more? Because it confused me a little bit.
Sure. There are 3 states now in the country that have 2 types of marriage. And when you get married in one of these states, you have to choose between the traditional form of marriage and a covenant marriage.
노크 교수는 학생들에게 언약 결혼에 대해 토론해 보도록 계속 유도하지만 젊은이들의 문제 제기도 만만치는 않다.
Was legal in Virginia? Do you see it becoming popular? But I see it as a good option for people, and I think it should be legalized. But I also agree with what Professor Knox said, just about how the coercion of people to feel inclined to enter into covenant marriage.
I can understand that. I believe that marriage is a very personal matter. On the other hand, there are very large public consequences of marriage, and there are even larger public consequences of divorce. Divorce is a major factor in producing poverty in our country. 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 wives who are divorced become poor as a result of that. And when people are poor, the government becomes involved in providing care for them, providing food and housing for them, caring for their children, and supporting them with many services and programs. Poverty is a very expensive and costly problem for us. One of the reasons for poverty is divorce. And so while I agree that marriage is a private affair, the consequence of a marriage failing is poverty in many cases, and that becomes a public matter. So if the government is going to be asked to help pick up the pieces when the marriage fails,
미국이 어떻게든 이혼율을 낮춰보려는 이유가 바로 거기에 있다. 이혼은 어떻든 경제적 약자인 여성들에게 더 피해가 갈 수밖에 없고 그것은 사회적 가난의 한 원인이 된다.
I suffered in my own family the sort of consequences that kids are vulnerable to when they come from a divorced home. If I'd had a father in the home, we wouldn't have slipped into poverty. If I'd had a father in the home, my mother would not have become depressed and she would not have given up the way that she did and ended up stuck on welfare. She also became dependent on alcohol because she was depressed. A lot of children in America and around the world are at risk for that sort of damage when they don't have an intact home.
So to say the government should not interfere with the personal concerns of others as it relates to marriage is really a contradiction of government's involvement already in every area of our lives. And I say that if certainly government cannot legislate morality, but we can regulate behavior. And if we can hopefully use the covenant marriage law to help prevent divorces from happening or to at least give people an option to reconsider or revisit such a serious action, then I think that the law is very worthwhile.
어떻게 하면 이혼율을 낮출 것인가? 플로리다는 루이지애나보다 더 독특한 결혼법을 가지고 있는 주다. 이 주의 법은 이혼에 대한 규제보다 결혼에 대한 규제가 더 강한 것이 그 특징이다. 결혼 전의 의무 사항을 강화한 것인데 법적으로도 상당한 구속력을 갖는다.
Typically, they would go ahead and process all the marriage applications and issue the licensing course, and have obtained and read the information contained in the handbook, made up of the actual marriage license itself, and like I said, we've got the affidavit and a notice statement that says that they completed both of the premarital requirements, and then here again, this is just an information sheet that they fill out for us to be able to prepare this. Gotcha. This is a copy of the marriage law or family law handbook, and this is the pamphlet that they're required to read through, attest to the fact that they have in fact read it prior to us being able to issue the license. And as you could tell, it was created by the Florida Bar, so it's something that's been drafted by an attorney.
플로리다에서 결혼하기 위해서는 의무적으로 4시간 동안의 혼전 교육을 받아야만 한다. 또한 결혼과 가족법에 관한 책자를 읽었다는 서명을 해야만 한다. 만약 이것을 거부할 경우 결혼 허가증이 유보되거나 연기되는 식의 강력한 제재가 따른다. 그렇다면 그 효과는 어떨까?
From 1995 through 1998, we've got a steady flow of cases above 1,000. And then as of 1999, we dropped down rather significantly in the contested dissolutions to 837. So there was an interesting drop.
한 해 사이에 이혼 건수가 200건 가까이 줄었다. 그 해는 바로 혼전 교육을 강화한 새 결혼법이 적용된 해였다. 플로리다 결혼법 개정에 앞장선 것은 대학의 연구진들이었다. 그들은 이미 이혼 상태까지 간 커플을 붙잡는 것보다는 오히려 결혼 전의 준비가 치밀할 때 더 효과적일 수 있다는 점에 주목했다.
Probably what you're interested in is that in 1998, the state legislature, in response to the rising divorce rate in Florida, enacted a statute that made it attractive for couples to get premarital education. They made it attractive by giving them a rebate on their license. The sort of center point for that we were supposed to develop a curriculum for pre-marriage education.
대학의 연구진들이 직접 운영하는 결혼과 가족 치료센터에서는 지속적으로 부부 상담 프로그램도 진행하고 있다.
Yeah. Because I just saw that. I like having a referee, someone that can see both sides and help us to see each other's side. So it's just, and that way we can kind of talk things out and learn more about each other. But it's been pretty helpful, actually.
So may I ask you, what kind of problem do you have, you don't mind?
Just getting along and learning to trust one another, I guess, was the basic issue.
문제가 발생했을 때에는 이미 늦은 것인지도 모른다. 그 전 단계에서 서로를 정확히 인식하는 것이 혼전 교육의 핵심이다.
To a couple that was not married, but they were planning to get married. They came and did one of our premarital courses and decided that that relationship was not something that was going to be helpful in the long run, and decided not to marry. So in that sense, the education we have provided to them has made them step back and look objectively to what they are doing in their relationship and make informed choices.
People had some kind of education before they got married or when they were married. It would have to have some effect, because there are things you can do to make your marriage better. And they're simple things. They're not complicated things. You don't have to become a different person. They're just things you can do.
이혼율을 낮추려는 민간 단체들의 활동도 매우 활발하다. 포커스 온 더 패밀리는 세계적인 조직망을 갖추고 있는 대표적인 가족 상담 기관이다. 이 단체에서는 상담 프로그램을 자체 제작해 각 방송사에 제공하는 한편 직접 전화 상담 프로그램도 운영하고 있다. 폭력 같은 사례를 제외한 경우 사실 일반적인 부부들이 겪는 문제는 대부분 비슷하다. 그런데도 사람들은 오직 자신만의 문제라고 생각한다. 방송은 그 생각을 바꿔놓는다.
Another significant form of broadcast that I think really does help people is story. When people hear a couple who had a struggle and they may have been on the verge of divorce or they may have been really unhappy in their relationship or one spouse may have been contemplating suicide or whatever it may be, if they're able to hear people, real-life people who experience some of the same things they are, but were able to take positive steps to get help, that can be very motivating for them. And a lot of times that type of story is remembered with greater vividness than if it's just simply tools that are talked about.
자신의 경험을 타인도 겪고 있다는 것을 아는 것은 상당히 중요하다. 일단 자신을 특수화시킬 때 빠지기 쉬운 과장된 심리 상태를 벗어날 수 있기 때문이다.
It's really both, but I would say the greater emphasis is upon people looking at the potential for healing and to take every step that they can. And basically what it means is in a marriage relationship that's not been successful, generally both people have some part to play in that. There's no perfect couple, there's no perfect individual, so learning from some of the struggles and the mistakes is very important.
부부관계 개선 프로그램을 신청했던 티모시 릭베 부부. 며칠 후 그들을 다시 찾았을 때 부부는 막 거울 대화법을 시작하려 하고 있었다.
So, Tim, would you be willing to share with Kimberly your end of this?
Sure. Yeah, I realize we both work very hard, and I'm sort of torn between wanting you to do well at your job and supporting you in that role, and also wanting you to be, you know, a supportive figure for me and helping raise Davis. And I realize that's hard, but you know, I don't have an answer.
Yeah, let me see if I have heard correctly what you said. You were very happy for my happiness at work, but you would like me to extend that same happiness and express that at home with you and Davis.
Yeah. When you're not that way, I feel that...
Now use a feeling word, Tim. I feel, it's a word, feeling word. Describe inside. I feel
angry and hurt at the same time.
You feel angry and hurt at the same time?
When you aren't showing the same energy, if you will, in our relationship that you do towards work.
Okay. You feel that I don't put the same energy to you and Davis as I do to work?
Yeah.
Now what were the feeling words? So you feel...
Let's say if this discussion is a room, you and I maybe meet at the door, and to use an analogy, we both try to fit through the door at the same time and we can't get into the room to even talk about it.
어찌 보면 소꿉장난처럼 보일 수도 있건만 참가자들은 더없이 진지하다. 이들은 지금 이런 교육과 훈련이 부부관계를 개선시켜 줄 거라고 믿고 있다. 부부관계도 하나의 기술이고 배워야 할 그 무엇이라고 믿는 것이다.
Couples struggle with each other. I need something from you. You won't give me what I need. I get very, very angry. I get frustrated. I get very, very defensive. And then we become enemies rather than lovers. Mm-hmm. And what we need to do is to begin to learn how to listen to what your partner is trying to say.
별거를 반복하면서 이혼의 순간까지 갔던 릭베 부부. 부부는 이제 위기를 넘긴 듯하다.
Well, here's to a new beginning.
Right.
Yeah, you had a little thing in there. You had a little thing in there.
Yeah, fans.
이들이 위기를 넘긴 것이 꼭 상담의 결과라고 말할 수는 없을 것이다. 그러나 최소한 부부간의 갈등이 상대방 때문에 발생하는 것이 아니라 많은 경우 자신에게서 비롯된다는 것을 알게 됐다는 것만은 분명하다. 그것이야말로 부부가 받은 가장 큰 선물이었다.
Okay, sit up. Hey, take a nappy and then we'll go play.
Interesting in the class was they were saying that you carry your problems to the next relationship. So even if you get divorced, you have a higher likelihood of getting divorced in the next relationship because you just bring the same problems into the next. So it's not, the problem isn't who you married, the problem is how to deal with conflict.
And like Kimberly mentioned earlier, taking the same problems they have into yet another relationship if they choose to get another one, to marry someone else. If you're in a business and you come up on problems, you don't just sit back and spin your wheels on it. You're proactive and you take what steps necessary to solve the problem. Well, you should do the same with, your relationship.
People, especially people in America, think that they're going to feel all in love forever with that person, and if they don't, then it's not right, and therefore the marriage is not working, and we've married the wrong person, or it's a failure. People can't stay in that love state forever. It progresses and it changes, and I think it gets better. You have a mutual appreciation and love for one another, but it's not that hot, and people need to understand that and maybe have more of a level setting on their expectations.
언약 결혼을 한 수장과 가드 부부. 이들은 언약 결혼을 함과 동시에 의무적으로 상담의 기회를 제공받았다. 그런 면에서 이 부부는 매우 행복한 경우에 속한다. 그것은 플로리다 부부들의 경우도 마찬가지다. 법은 과연 어느 선까지 부부관계에 개입할 수 있는가? 언약 결혼도 혼전 교육도 여전히 논쟁의 대상이 될 수밖에 없다. 그러나 그것이 국가가 아무런 할 일이 없다는 것을 뜻하지는 않는다.
That the government can reduce divorce or help marriages, but I do believe that the government has a legitimate right and an interest to try. We don't know whether the government can influence marriage or divorce, but it is of such importance to the government of any country to have stable families for the children that it's worth trying. And we are just now beginning to try. So yes, I do believe the government should remain involved, should continue to invest money in this, even if it's controversial, even if people resist. I think it's worth doing.
There's a lot more political support for intervening when there are children whose interests should be protected. A lot of the polls that ask should divorce be harder, when they ask, well, what about when children are involved? Then the results are much higher in favor of having more restrictions.
At least with cancer, you can treat with radiation and surgery. With divorce, there really is no treatment. You just have to go forward and do the best you can. The children are affected, you're affected, and you're affected really for the rest of your life. Cancer is also an act of God. There's nothing you can do about it usually. But with divorce, you have the ability to try to repair a relationship. And there are things you can do about it to prevent it and to deal with it without radiation and without surgery. So, as I said, I'd rather get cancer than get divorced.
오늘도 미국의 한 커플은 언약 결혼서에 서약을 한다. 이 서류 한 장이 이들의 결혼을 지켜줄 거라고는 아무도 장담할 수 없다. 그러나 최소한 이들이 장차 벌어질지도 모를 상황에 대해서 미리 교육받고 인식하고 출발한다는 점은 매우 중요하다. 미국의 이혼법은 갈수록 어려워지고 있다. 그 효과의 진위 여부를 떠나 어떻든 미국의 이혼율은 해마다 낮아지고 있다. 반면 한국의 이혼율은 해마다 높아지고 있으며 그 중에 80%는 협의 이혼이다. 모든 이혼은 합당한가? 우리나라에서 협의 이혼에 걸리는 시간은 채 10분도 되지 않는다.